And judging from the music, yes, we are in the sunken... No, we are in our
that's
inn.
Ammon Jerro. Not dead after all. Glad we made sure of that before running into his labyrinth of demons.
Yes, he is alive, and he is much more powerful than tales ever indicated.
More powerful than some wizard, anyway.
More powerful than you, Quara, and you would do well to believe me.
So what now? We imprison him? Throw him to the watch?
Tell me you're joking. He'll send the entire district to the abyss and then he'll come after
Oh,
us.
please.
Justice must be served. But I am not certain he would find justice within Neverwinter's walls.
No one asked you.
I say we get what we need from him, then take care of him. No one needs to know.
Exactly.
He murdered Chandra Jerro, and he must answer for it. But we will not answer murder with murder.
I'm sorry. I still don't understand what went wrong. Was there no way to stop Chandra from doing what she did?
Nope.
It just makes no sense.
Not to
There's
you.
no sense to be made of it, Grabnar. Now we must simply accept. It is our leader I am worried about.
What is wrong with your face,
The
Eleni?
will of Ammon Jerro is broken, and this makes him dangerous. But no, it also makes him of use.
Really? Yeah, I could care less what happens to him. Well, not exactly. I do care if he doesn't get killed. But anyway, I need to know what he knows.
Know that Ammon is the enemy of the Githyanki, and all he has done to fight the King of Shadows. It would be well for us to share words with him. If his knowing becomes ours, our strength increases. Speak to him, and see where his allegiances lie.
Why did you bring her to my haven? Even though she was of my bloodline, you knew she did not have the strength to survive there.
She would have survived if you hadn't killed her, so stop blaming me.
If you had known what you were walking into and left the matter to me, she would be alive and I would still be at my full power.
Boo-hoo.
Yes, I bear responsibility for her death. The Jerro bloodline now only resides in me. And the King of Shadows, he has won a victory against us this day without striking a blow.
A victory. Oh, please. So melodramatic, aren't we? Yeah, what were you doing in your haven?
I have fought the King of Shadows before. As soon as I became aware of the threat he represented to Neverwinter, to the realms, I fought him. I have made pacts. I have studied him, tried to learn his weaknesses and the extent of his power. And always it has been a war with few victories. Surely you know of the ritual of purification. You should know that I have performed part of the ritual myself already. Without it, we cannot strike at the King of Shadows, and the battle is lost before it begins.
Well, I am familiar with the ritual to free him, but that doesn't seem to be enough.
The King of Shadows is no mortal creature. He is not human, more a force than anything else. But there is something that can harm him. Those shards you have, they are part of the Sword of Gith.
Kalakcha.
Once the King of Shadows was driven back by Githyanki warriors wielding hundreds, maybe thousands of those blades. But the Sword of Gith is more than a simple silver sword. It can wound the King of Shadows, like it did once long ago. A part of the blade got lodged in your chest in the battle in West Harbor when you were a child. And whether you like it or not, you are now that weapon. The more shards you gather, the stronger that weapon becomes. Together, we can stop the King of Shadows, and we must.
Forget it, you can burn in the hells for what you've done.
I have completed part of the ritual of purification. If you kill me, the battle is lost as soon as my heart stops beating. Without me, you cannot win. Whatever punishments you think I deserve, I will suffer 1,000-fold. Well beyond anything your small mind can imagine. But I will strike at the King of Shadows before I leave this plane. And you will have no stronger ally than I in this. both in knowledge and power.
Don't bet on it, my mind can imagine quite a few things, Mr. Jerro. I could always spend every minute of our journey that's left beating your face in. Serve me and I will spare you.
You have defeated me in my lair and I am weakened. I have no choice. The tactics you used are the sacrifices this war requires. Regardless, we must gather our forces against the King of Shadows. Even now, his presence is extending from the Mare of Dead Men. The high road has become impassable. My scouts, now vanished, reported legions of shadows and undead stirring within the Mare, and a sphere of darkness expanding from the heart of the swamp, killing all life it touches. We cannot stop him alone. With my powers weakened, my demons are no longer bound to me. You will need an army to face him.
Ammon, Jerro's Haven at last. Guess that's now completed, yeah. Okay, and we are alone. Alone in our majestic, exquisite company again. Let's chat with Sal. How's business? We've got business, not a lot, but there are people dropping by. Yeah, still no Bard's Apprentice performing here. Okay then, I think it's time to chat with our companions a bit.
What's going on?
Not with Nishka though. Let's see.
Like who?
I don't think we've gained any influence with Kelgar, but I'm not sure, so...
You mean aside from the fact that she's
half
devil?
He still won't discuss what's the deal with him hating on Nishka.
Some way I can help?
Oh, no, not you.
Great. What's wrong now?
Yeah, what isn't? Tell me that first, and then I'll answer you what's wrong now.
But and what? So I came here. Sought protection in
Okay, yeah,
Neverwinter.
no other questions.
What answers do you seek?
Yeah, nothing on sand either. What about Eleni? Yeah, I need a lot of things. My little tree-hugging hippie elf. Nope. Bishop?
So what does the great captain of Crossroad Keep want with his humble tracker? Something you want hunted down, my lord, or some forsaken path scouted?
I had some questions, yeah. You seem to have problems with Luskins.
Don't give it much thought, because they deserve it. Look,
Yeah.
enough.
Though there really hasn't been any point where we could have gained any influence with Bishop, as he hasn't been with us, so... Ooh, there are weird people. Well, Sir Naval isn't weird, but this guy is. Let's chat with Shave Me.
What is your will? I will hear you.
Okay, never mind. Ammon, Jerro.
Yes. No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow. Wow! Okay, what can you tell me about the King of Shadows?
That is a long tale.
I have time.
Some pieces of the tale I gave when we escaped. But there is more, yes. As you probably already know, the King of Shadows was once a creation, a guardian of Ilfan. By tapping into the power of the Weave, the source of all magic in Faerun, Ilfan sought to make an invincible protector to shield its borders.
Yeah, who was the Guardian exactly?
A man, perhaps.
Oh.
Who it was, I was never able to determine.
Okay.
But whoever it was, he was willing to give up himself to protect his empire. Give up his sense of self, his identity. It is no small sacrifice.
Yeah, I've heard about that already. Was hoping you'd have some more details about the guy, but you sound sympathetic.
There is a certain sympathy I have for such a man, for someone willing to make that choice.
What do you mean exactly?
He cast away his family, his ties to his people, and he ended up suffering for it while attempting to save them. Such a motivation is not hard to understand. Even more now, to see the King of Shadows reviled for what he has done, and knowing that at its core, he sought only to protect the people under his care. Now, its people are gone, and even knowing its failure, it still seeks to protect its empire and, most importantly, itself.
Yeah, I kinda came to that conclusion myself as well, but how will it do that?
If it frees itself, it will seek to destroy anything that threatens it.
Duh.
You first, then I. Then it will destroy all civilization on the Sword Coast, where its former empire lay. And from then on, I do not know what it will do. But the coast shall become as the mare is now, lifeless. Its only people raised from the dead to become the shades of the new Ilfarn Empire.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
No doubt.
Let's ask something else. Oh, why do you want to stop the King of Shadows?
Why do I wish to stop the King of Shadows?
Yeah?
Perhaps this is a question you should ask yourself, since your motivation in all of this has been unclear from the start.
Not really. I'm a victim of circumstances. Yeah, unclear. You're one to talk.
Really? Then let us speak plainly on this.
Yes, please.
Does he threaten you specifically? Do you feel that the Sword Coast cast beneath shadow would be an unwelcome thing? All life turned to death and ghosts? Or perhaps you would simply sleep better at night, knowing that a twisted remnant of the Ilfarn Empire was as dead and buried as they are.
Well, I would say that there are actually two choices here that are basically both part of Lord's motivation in hunting King of Shadows in his interest. He is curious about his power and if it might be usable somehow, but also, like I stated, he's a victim of circumstances. The King of Shadows will kill me because I have the shards and part of the ritual, so it's self-preservation.
At least that is a guaranteed motivation, and one difficult to escape from. Very well. I wish to stop the King of Shadows because he is a threat to not only the people of Neverwinter, but to the Sword Coast and Farron itself. That is all, and while simple, it is the truth. Despite whatever onus has been placed on my actions, desperate measures were required to stop him the first time, and will be again. More can be saved as a result, and that is all that matters now.
Is it? So for the greater good?
Yes. An unpopular idea for anyone who does not truly see the threat to this plane.
Well, the Ilfarn retards brought it on. So, I don't really care. Same people, just a different city, nation, whatever. Same difference. I need all the help and allies I can get, so I accept that for now.
Now that is the first piece of wisdom I have encountered from someone in Neverwinter's service for some time.
I'm not in their service. I only portray myself as being in their service. Okay, what do you know about the silver shards? Silver shards. Thank you, Ammon. Please tell me.
The shards, including the one lodged within you, are part of the Sword of Gift.
That I
Its
know.
history is a tiresome one. Ask the Githzerai if he would know more. She could no doubt recite countless metaphors concerning Gith and Zerthaman. The importance of the shards is that once recast into a blade, it is likely to have the power to harm the King of Shadows.
Likely?
And as such, is vital to our quest.
Earlier it wasn't likely. It did have the power to harm him. Why now it's likely to have the power to do that? Is there something you're not telling me, Baldy? Why only the silver swords?
I do not know. Perhaps their extraplanar origin is what makes the King of Shadows vulnerable to them. There may be some secret in their creation that is unknown to me, that may make them effective as well. Regardless, the King of Shadows is vulnerable to them, and to the Sword of Gith most of all.
Yeah, okay, let's move
No
on.
doubt.
Do you know how to reforge the sword?
No, but it is something we must discover, and soon. I do not believe reforging the sword will require all the shards. But as I have never done such a thing, I do not know for certain. The Githzerai who travels with us may know more. In that she may have some use.
She has more use than you. So shut up.
No doubt.
Where did you get the Sword of Gith?
Ah, some secrets I must have.
No, you don't.
But suffice to say that there are eyes throughout the plains that see more than I.
That makes no bloody sense.
No doubt.
Okay, why do you have such disdain for Shave Me?
Disdain. I hardly consider her worthy of emotion at all. She is a blind follower, an adherent of her own people's history. There is blindness in such things.
Well, duh. But she is extremely useful, unlike you. Yeah, I do not care how you feel, I was just curious.
If that was your only intent with the question, very well. Perhaps I was overly harsh. I thought you sought to defend her, which is unwarranted, especially when so many questions surround her and her involvement in this war. What of her people? Where are they against this threat? We need allies who understand our enemy, yet her people do nothing. The people of Farron are ignorant of the King of Shadows, yes, but her people are not.
Oh, well, I know why Shave Me's people cannot enter the conflict.
Indeed. And why is that?
If they were to enter the conflict, the Githyanki would fight them instead of the King of Shadows.
Ah. And again I ignore politics in my haste to do battle. I had thought that perhaps because they were not tied to Farron and the courts of Neverwinter, the people of Gith would have a broader view.
Oh, please.
But I forget the unreasoning hatred of the Githyanki. The fear of such a division in battle should the Githzerai join the conflict. There is wisdom in such a decision.
Yeah, unlike in anything you say. Yeah, wisdom, I think fear is what guides them, and the hope that the Githyanki and us will be wiped out.
I suspect you may be right. And it was fear that prevented Neverwinter from acting so long ago. There is much lost with such a decision. But there is more to be lost if one does not make such a break with politics and laws and do what must be done.
Yeah. Okay, other questions. Why did you choose now to reveal yourself?
I have only recently escaped my imprisonment in the lower plains. And since then, I have fought to re-establish my stronghold and gather my forces, which you have ruined with your carelessness.
And again, there we go, blaming others. Okay, where were you being held?
Let us leave it for another time. It has no bearing on our present situation.
So what?
No doubt.
Okay, why was it such a surprise that Chandra was alive?
How any of my kin managed to survive is a mystery to me. It seems the Jerro line is more resilient than I thought. But yes, I thought the Jerro line had been ended in the war with the King of Shadows. During the battles that waged near the Mare, near Highcliff, There was so much chaos, I thought what remained of my family was lost. Now, they truly are.
So... was it the loss of your family that drove you to fight?
This useless tracking through old memories has no bearing on our current quest.
Ooh, touchy are
Let
we?
us focus on the present, not what or why I did things in the past.
Ha. Okay.
No doubt.
Is there anything else we could ask that is not about him? Oh yeah, you said you completed the last part of the ritual of purification.
I did. But before I could reach the other statues, the Shadow Reaver arrived. And even with my allies, I could not stand against him.
Weakling!
Each of us bears the necessary pieces of the ritual. And together, we are the only ones who can harm him. Like it or not, we need each other if we are to succeed.
Okay, what does your ritual power allow you to do?
When the time is right, I will show you, not before. Part of power comes in knowing when to keep it a secret, and sharing it only with those you trust.
Fine. Go crawl somewhere and die for all I care. How can the ritual stop the King of Shadows? Do you even know that?
If the Githzerai did not already explain, the ritual is designed to unmake the Ilfon Guardian, which the King of Shadows once was, and still is in part. But the Guardian is a shell, a vessel for what the King of Shadows has become. When it drew life from the Shadow Weave long ago, it became something else, something greater. Still, its outer skin is that of the Guardian. We must break that armor first, and once shattered, then we may strike at his essence.
Wow, he actually did know. Woohoo! Good going, Baldy. Okay, well, once the shell is broken, how do we strike at his essence?
To do that, will require the Sword of Gith, which you carry with you. The silver
figures.
swords of the Githyanki are the only weapons I have seen that have harmed the King of Shadows. And the Sword of Gith is the mightiest of such weapons.
You haven't seen my invocations yet. Yeah, right. As if they'll work. Oh, come on. What are we, a retard? But the Sword of Gith is broken. Yeah. Let's not click on that. Okay, you keep saying it will, or that it has the ability, possibly. So are you sure the Sword of Gith can kill the King of Shadows?
No.
Wow, look at that! Honesty from the guy! Woohoo! So what are our chances of success?
I do not know. Greater than nothing, I suspect.
Oh, duh.
But it is a chance we must take.
Okay. Well, when do we perform the ritual?
We must do it within the King of Shadows' fortress, as near to his heart as possible. Within the Mare of Dead Men, or the Merdelaine as the Druidess calls it. There is where we must go.
The King of Shadows of Merdelaine. But the mare is surrounded by a cloud that devours life.
Yes, I know. I do not know how to defeat such a shield yet, but we must find a way.
You mean I must find a way when you tag along? Well, more accurately, you will wait here. I really hope Baldy here isn't forced in our party. I'm the only Warlock here, damn it. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if there's anything new here now. Probably not. Nope, never mind. Let's move on then.